Okay, so let's get started. There's three things I'd like to cover off in this movie. Firstly, what we've learned to date, then an overview of the big idea, and finally, the steps to get there and where we need your help. So, after 18 months of our search enterprise, we've learned a lot during the process of educating the first 60,000 students in our ICT education programs. But before we go into the specifics of what we've learned, I just want to spend a few minutes recapping on some of the big learning points about the need for what we're trying to do. So, what is the need? Well, firstly, it's big. There are nearly 1 billion people who have entered the 21st century unable to read a book or sign their names. There are 2.2 billion children in the world, and 1 billion of them are in poverty. Even if traditional classroom training courses were the solution, there are simply not enough qualified teachers. In Africa alone, there would need to be hundreds of thousands more teachers trained to serve the needs of each and every child. It would take generations with the current methods to fill the void and serve the needs of the children. We've also learnt that even when the children do get to a classroom, there is no guarantee that the quality of education there is high. The truth is, it's variable. There are exemplar schools like the Sahari School in Kenya, whose students are taken from the poorest neighbourhoods and whose graduates now account for 1/3 of the trainee doctors in Kenya's universities. We've learnt that despite a child's desires and dreams, that he may not be able to get or complete his secondary school education because his family may need him on the farm or inside the business. We've learnt that in many schools where sanitation is not adequate, girls leave school as early as 11 or 12 rather than suffer the alternative embarrassment of no sanitation at school. But we've also been lucky enough to meet ICT education ministers and presidents across Africa. And they all share a common passion to evolve their country through education. And they all see learning as a tool to assist the acceleration of the learning and education gap, although they're still at the beginning of how to do this. Many of them are investing tens of millions of dollars into 1 laptop per teacher programs and 1 laptop per student programs. But there's rarely courseware or learning content to go with these investments. The desire and the will is there, but the know-how is still developing. Perhaps the most interesting thing we've seen over the last couple of years is the speed of adoption of mobile technology. There are now more mobile phone users in Africa than in North America, and even more in India. In Africa, mobile phone penetration is at least 10 times PC internet penetration, which is something we must consider when developing any global education program. Over the last few years, we've also learned a lot from innovators, education innovators, some external and some within. I'd like to spend the next few minutes looking at some of those lessons from some of these. Firstly, at Saugata Mitra's One Hole in the Wall initiative. It's really interesting. He's put internet-connected computers in villages who have never seen a computer and set them maths problems. He returns months later, and every time he finds the children have found the answers. I like the concept of learning by setting the problems and supplying the students with tools to find the answers. And I think there's a lot that we can learn from Saugata's initiative. The second innovator is the Khan Academy, where another great individual has simply started putting up lessons for his children and his nieces on maths. And now these lessons are used by millions of children around the world, learning in 2-minute YouTube-style fashion. Even Bill Gates' kids are using it. We've also learned a lot from our own search enterprise and the content that we've developed and delivered. We've learned that contextualization, the use of local stories and characters, is important for motivation and understanding. We've learnt that being able to localize and translate the coursework is key for mass rollout. And we've learnt that the need for high quality education at little or no cost to the end student is critical to mass adoption. We've also learnt lessons from our core business, which has been recently recognised as the industry leader. One of the innovations we developed was a new interface for ICT teachers to learn how to use smart interactive whiteboards, personalised to their way of learning. The learning resources allows for each of the 6 learner types to learn in their way. The visionary learner can learn why this is important to them first, before they start learning. The structured learner can learn by going through step by step in a structured fashion. The wanderer learner, which I am, can jump around object to object, finding the parts that interest them most. And the problem solver can search and find the learning quickly when they have a problem. The second innovation we recently worked on was we created around 1,000 2-minute movies covering the MS Office suite to create what I believe is the absolute best way to learn MS Office. But what I believe is more innovative is the production method we developed to produce these movies. Just to paint a quick picture of why this innovation is key. The standard method used to create e-learning courseware would probably cost over £10 million for the plan we're about to propose. But the new production process we developed could mean that a higher quality product is produced for a fraction of the cost. So, just as we gave the teachers the ability to learn how to use smartboards to teach, or we produced a range of movies and gave the teacher the tools to create high quality ICT learning. There's no reason why this rapid development process can't be applied for local teachers in each country for science, maths, geography, etc. The final innovation we take from our corporate business and we can apply to this initiative is what we call the visualization service. In essence, we take a raw movie explanation and pass it over to professional illustrators and visual designers in India, who keep the audio track but enhance the visual explanation, creating a higher engagement factor and increased motivation. This is a low-cost, rapid way to enhance the quality as and when finances allow. The last innovation relevant to this initiative is our platform partner Jambook. They developed what we believe is the world's first true social learning platform that can accommodate any number of learners. It's designed to look similar to YouTube. The system will also accommodate the menu system we saw earlier and allow students both the ability to search like a problem solver for learning nuggets, but also to learn and socialize from teachers and other students. Okay, so on to the second part, the big idea. What we're proposing is to create a high quality digital curriculum for all primary and secondary school subjects, starting in Africa. The digital curriculum will be delivered in local language, contextual to each country and mapped to each government's national curriculum. We will provide the tools and the learning to allow local teachers to create their own national curriculum facilitated by us. It will be hosted on the internet for all to access, and the content will be used through different interfaces depending on the learner type the child wants. Children and parents will be able to learn alone or together as long as they can get access to an internet connected PC. All the content created will automatically be encoded in a format that is both friendly to PC and most mobile phones. This is one of the great things about the platform we propose to use. Mobile bandwidth may still be an issue in many places, although we do see this reducing in the years to come. Once the first country creates the massive content, then it will be relatively easy to localize and to translate the courseware to map to the nuances of each government's curriculum. We will create the capability for teachers to do this locally. The best content can then be illustrated and enhanced using local resources, which we can also provide the development and learning tools for. We believe this is the fastest, lowest cost method to create a university, high quality digital curriculum for all children. So who is this service for? It is for the children who are dropped out of school because they have to help their family, but who still want to continue their education. It is for the child who doesn't have a great teacher, but who wants to achieve their full potential. It is for the parent that wants to provide an education to their child, but is limited by their circumstance. And it's for the parent who wants to help and learn alongside their children. It is also for the teachers in the schools who want to provide all the tools to give their students the best chance of success. So, what are the next steps and where can you help? Well, we believe we have some of the answers to achieve our goals, but not all. We have a production model that is scalable to the need, and we have a platform that can deliver the personalised learning experience. We have the experience of our social enterprise behind us and a thought leadership position within the corporate e-learning marketplace. What we don't have is access to the teachers or the students to test the concept. We need access to the local resources to make the first step happen, and the drive from people who care to help create and prove the model. Our next step is to build one term for one subject in partnership with the members of the steering group, and at least one national government who will designate schools to test the model. We need brains to test our thinking and add their ideas to the concept, and we need to create a model that will make this venture sustainable. This is the beginning of a very exciting journey, and we welcome all of those who join with us.
You may say